Good evening, YouTube. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and before we get started, just want to say, hey, if you enjoy the videos you see, it helped me out a lot. There is an HeirofCarthage logo in the bottom right hand if you would like to subscribe. Definitely appreciate you viewing and hope you continue to enjoy. Also, I'm going to be showing you some tournament replays because Trolley Bully's sending these to me. So those of you who want to see some more Rome 2, hopefully we got some good stuff here. He says he's going to send me the best replays from each round. And if you enjoy it, make sure to tell him in the comments that you'd sure love to see more. I definitely appreciate him sending it. So this is the Use It, Lose It tournament that he's hosted. I will have links in the description to the bracket, to the community group if you want to join that community group to be a part of these tournaments. This is a huge tournament that he's put together on Rome 2, and it's really a pretty admirable deal. I mean, it was a veritable who's who of different tournament players I've seen, and it looked pretty stacked. It was looking good. So in any case, definitely excited he sent this my way. This first match I'm going to show you is going to be between Warner 95 as Syracuse and Helvetian Slayer as Sparta. But let me go through the rules real quick. And I won't go through these every time. I'll probably just send you to the link. But so both players are the attackers. No camping of any sort. No pike boxing. No deployables or artillery. It's a large funds. The player who is at the top of the bracket picks the faction first, then the other player does, and then the player who picked the faction first can choose the map. So there's a few rule sets depending on the factions that you pick. So the rules for nomads, the only rule is max of 6 missile cav and unlimited cavalry, obviously. Rules for Greek factions, so this includes Pergamon, Egypt, Macedon, Epirus, Seleucids, Athens, Syracuse, and Sparta, who we're going to see here. So these are the rules for this match. This is what I'm going to read, and I won't read anything else for the others, but max 6 of the same unit, max 8 melee infantry, so this includes swords, axes, falxes, and this also includes your general. Max of 8 cavalry, and that includes missile cav, max 4 missile cav, and max 14 infantry. This is melee, spear, pikes, everything all together. It doesn't include missile infantry. So yeah, so this will be interesting. Syracuse versus Sparta. I kind of like this this matchup. Should be fun. So Sparta holds an infantry advantage typically because of Spartan hoplites being quite good. Syracuse is going to hold a diversity advantage in the sense that they have access to a greater diversity of units. But at the same time, like I said, as Sparta definitely has that edge with the better hoplites. So we'll have to see something from Syracuse to try and make use of that. I see Tarentine cav from both players and a couple melee cav from both players. Quite a few skirmishers. There's 5 from both players, but the Spartan skirmishers look to me to be of slightly higher quality. I do see a couple of thorax swords units mixed in with the Syracusan army as well. So thorax hoplites, very very stable spine for the Athens army here. It's a very solid unit with 30 weapon damage, which is the best damage you can get for a hoplite. Like I said, so in terms of mercenary Italian cav stacked up against citizen cav, I would expect the mercenary Italian cav is probably better. So that little bit of advantage to Athens. Mercenary Balearic Slinger is going to be quite good. There's 2 standard slingers mixed in here as well. But from the skirmishing standpoint of the Spartans, there's, let's see, it looked like I thought I saw 3 or 4. I think it was 3 Gorgos skirmishers, 1 Helot slinger, and then I believe there was 1 Cretan archer. So I kind of think the skirmishing advantage probably rests in the hands of the Syracusan player. I almost think I said Athenian earlier. I may have. The 2 are similar. But yeah, it's Syracuse. Let's take a look at the infantry. So Spartan hoplites as a main line. There is a Heroes of Sparta in the back. A Royal Spartan on this flank. Just Perioikoi spears and some Spartan youth. So the other flank a little bit weaker, but still supported by a Royal Spartan. So with the Royal Spartans here and the Hero Sparta, I would definitely give the infantry advantage to Sparta. There are some thorax swords. Thorax swords will perform pretty well against Spartan hoplites, but they're going to do horribly against something like a Royal Spartan. The Skirmishing Phase is going to get underway. It looks like neither player is in a hurry to engage their cavalry here either, and it looks like some Perioikoi spears being sent out to support. Let's see, so yeah, 5 skirmishers for each. A couple of units of these standard Greek slingers. I have to admit, like, I love Warhammer a lot. I wish that they could bring some of the mechanics of Warhammer back to Rome 2, like the charges and some of the other stuff. But Rome 2 got a lot of things right in the end, too. I like that the battles lasted a little longer in the end. That was definitely a good fix, but there was still so many things wrong with this game that I would have loved to seen fixed. Here comes a, I think this is a Perioikoi spear pushing forward here. It is. Or no, it's a Spartan Youth. So just kind of a light hoplite unit. Looks like they're pushing up. Yeah, the Helot Slingers here getting hammered. Helot Slingers getting destroyed. Gorgo Skirmishers getting destroyed. So right now the skirmishing contingent for Syracuse is going to be a problem. And since I believe the cavalry advantage is going to swing for the Syracusan player. Now here, though, there's Perioikoi Spears supporting that. The mainline infantry engagement, though, Spartan Hoplites versus Thorax. The Thorax will win. There's going to need to be infantry support. This Royal Spartan could make for the flank, but there is a mercenary Samnite warrior being held in reserve. If this fight goes for too long, it's going to favor the Thorax Hoplites pretty heavily, I believe. Spartan Youths running away from a Thorax Hoplite, and there is a Royal Spartan. The unfortunate thing about this is it's going to allow... This swordsman now has a good position to get to the rear of this fight, and the only unit that could try and count... Well, I mean, these units would have to stop it, so... But there's also cavalry. Cavalry very nicely blocked here by the Perioikoi Spear, so great play there. Yeah, the skirmishing line definitely falling apart. Both players going into a hoplite. Well, that's going to be a long grind out. You're going to have the Royal Spartans pushing here. Not a lot of skirmishers on this side. If these skirmishers start to fire at the Royal Spartan, that could be a problem. Mercenary Samnite coming in. Royal Spartan should be able to handle that. The Tarentine Cavalry are kind of far back in the back because they're being pushed here by some skirmishers and some spears. The Spartan has quite a few units in reserve still at the moment. Yeah, the Spartan Hoplites have somehow kind of gotten all mishmashed with this. Royal Spartans engaged here. The Mercenary Samnites coming in. They are losing badly to the Royal Spartans, and that's to be expected. The Royal Spartans are going to be able to tank out quite a lot of kills over here, but as I expected, the Spartan Hoplites are already starting to fall in combat to the Thorax Hoplites. Here comes some cavalry. Nice opportunity here to... Ooh, yeah, great use of the citizen cavalry here, getting rid of a slinger, taking a nasty volley from the Samnites. If this cavalry badly needs to get back here to the skirmishers, though, especially before the other cavalry was able to get here, so it's a bit of a mistake. These Perioikoi Spears probably should be pushing, and there's another Perioikoi Spear back here who's set to chase this Tarentine Cav, so a micro mistake here for sure. Some Spartan skirmishers did live, and there's a Spartan Youth still guarding them. The Heroes of Sparta coming around this flank as well. So this flank out here in this area is going to be stacked for Sparta. And there's still extra units. Like I said, there's units in reserve all over the battlefield for Sparta, which kind of looks like a mistake at the moment, but it's going to depend on how that turns out in the end. The Citizen Cavalry here did get the Slingers. The Slingers could come back, and right now the Mercenary Italian Cav and Tarentine Cavalry is wrecking the Citizen Cav. Oh, this is nasty. The Balearic Slingers being faced by a Citizen Cavalry here with the potential to do a lot of damage. They are going to get run down. Nasty javelin volley, so a nice save there by the Syracusan player to minimize the damage to his otherwise extremely threatened Balearic Slingers. But this will slow down. Oh, no, they've left himself open over here. The Tarentine Cavalry is gonna give fits to the Spartan player. The Royal Spartans up here doing very, very well. Spartan Hoplites getting wrapped up. There's now a Heroes of Sparta coming in. So we'll see whether or not this infantry advantage can hold. The Royal Spartans out here have tanked out 95 kills already versus a Thorax Hoplite and a Thorax Sword. I do not think that these two units combined will be enough to take out the Royal Spartan. We'll see, especially if these Perioikoi... Yep, so the Perioikoi got a nice toss there. So... still looking quite winnable for Sparta in my opinion, but the main concerns I have here are skirmishers sitting around. There's one here, there's another one here, and these are all slingers. They have a lot of ammo. These Perioikoi Spears need to get in here and start putting some pressure and keeping the Syracusan cavalry, because the Spartan cavalry is lost. There's still 2 cavalry units for the Syracusan player that aren't being activated, and there's a Perioikoi Spear back here that hasn't been activated as well. This mercenary Cretan archer here for Sparta that's trying to see where it's firing into these mercenary Balearic Slingers. Not a bad plan. These Slingers are going to cause horrendous damage if they're left to the late game. Spartan Hoplites getting engaged with the Italian Cavalry. The Perioikoi Spears trying to keep the Tarentine Cavalry away. Still no activation of these Tarentine Cavalry on the flanks, which could be very, very handy right now for the Syracusan player. Royal Spartans, 128 kills, starting to feel the losses, but still performing quite well here. And the Royal Spartans here, only 71 kills, so not all that impressive actually at the moment. Looks like the slinger fire's coming out here towards some of these Spartan units. So this Spartan hoplite, or this thorax hoplite and the cavalry now is going to catch and kill the helot slinger. Definitely going to get some pressure through here onto the skirmishers. I think this is looking pretty great for the Syracusan player, actually, because of all the remaining skirmishers. Let's see what the Spartan player is using here. Battle Rhythm. That will definitely help the Royal Spartans. They got really nice melee attack, and they are getting a considerable number of kills right now. This Royal Spartan, though, is getting wrapped up, so this is very bad. It got a lot of kills, but not near enough to justify its cost. So this is definitely a poor engagement for these Royal Spartans. I thought they might be able to fight their way out of that, but they are not. They're tired, they're attacked in the rear, and they're losing decisively, so even a Royal Spartan's going to feel that one in terms of morale. Did get a lot of kills, but like I said, it's not going to be kills that make it worth it. This is the Heroes of Sparta. It's doing extremely well so far. There's still spear support. One skirmisher here being chased, and again the Tarentine cavalry still not being brought in. Could be playing a very decisive role at the moment. Nice job, the Perioikoi spears just pushing back these units as best it can. The Royal Spartan did rout. Very unfortunate loss, and they're just going to go into a a shield wall here. So the Perioikoi spearmen pushing on in. Let's just kind of see what happens here. The Spartan general is in pretty good shape. The Syracusan general is losing decisively, so the morale is looking pretty rough. Heroes of Sparta are about to get shot point blank in the back by skirmishers, so this is going to put an end to the Heroes of Sparta. These guys won't be able to take that. No unit can take this. Yeah. The Spartan player desperately needs a unit to push these guys off. And the Balearic Slingers are going to absolutely just annihilate this Heroes of Sparta. They're fairly few in number to begin with. This Perioikoi Spear is badly needed to come push these guys off. But it's not going to matter. There's so many Slingers left at this point and not enough Spearmen to push them away. So yeah, this is a rough scenario for the Spartans. Their infantry advantage is going to carry them this far, but the skirmisher advantage here is going to end up being the critical piece, and then the cavalry went in favor of the Syracusan as well. But I mean, it's a pretty good battle. Let's fast forward for a second. Just kind of, wow, there's a lot of battle left, so I may be completely wrong about how this one turns out. So the ammo of these slingers may be the deciding factor. The Royal Spartans being driven off the field already, though. They are completely gone. The Heroes of Sparta, sorry, there are 3 men left is all it was. So they were doing quite well until those Balearic Slingers got behind them. Let's just see what happens. There's 2 Perioikoi Spears. This Royal Spartan still got 67 units. But if the Slingers have ammo, I'm having a hard time understanding how this battle goes to 15 minutes, but if the Slingers are out of ammo, that very well could be a big-time problem. These Balearic Slingers look like they're out of ammo. These Slingers aren't going to cause near as much damage as the others. Let's see up here. These Balearic Slingers are still firing, but if the one's out of ammo, surely these are getting close too, but they are getting some great shots at the Royal Spartans. Oh, javelins too, all over the Royal Spartans. But there's so very little left for the Syracusan player. And the balance bar is right now heavily in favor of the Syracusan, so the Spartan can't afford to lose much here. Like I said, ammo is the big question. How much ammo is there? Turning their back to the Slingers at this point is going to be suicidal for the Royal Spartans. Running away is pointless. You might as well just stay there and take it and then push forward with another unit. Because turning your back is going to take away your block chance. And the block chance on Royal Spartans is decent, for sure. Fortunately for the Spartan, the Balearic Slingers ran out of ammo. Let's check. These guys still have ammo, potentially. But with so much loss of ammo, this is actually potentially... Let's see if these guys have javelins. If this unit has javelins, that's going to be massively bad for the Spartans. They do not have javelins. They're coming into melee. A Tarentine cavalry is a medium missile cavalry. 23 Royal Spartans facing a Tarentine cavalry rear charge. and a unit of Balearic Slingers. And they're facing some missile fire back here from the standard Slinger unit, but the blob of enemy units is actually going to protect them somewhat from these Slingers. They're going into Hoplite Phalanx, which will give them a bonus versus infantry, and should give them a little extra, yeah, it's going to give them some melee attack versus infantry maybe. I don't know, I can't tell exactly. Rear charge here, though, from the Perilochoi Spears. 270 kills on the Royal Spartans. If they can stabilize here... Nope, they routed and they are gone. 12 minutes left in the battle still, wow. So the Perilochoi Spears trying to get into a square to boost their morale. This is definitely a nice move on the Spartan players' part. The morale of the Perilochoi is going to be questionable at best. The morale of the Syracusan units is also poor right now. Here comes another rear charge from Perilochoi Spears. Without these swords, the Samnite warriors, it's going to be difficult. Oh, wow, and the Samnite shattered. What a break for the Spartan player. Who's still got ammo, if anybody? Not these guys. Not these guys. Oh, wow. So this is actually potentially looking like Sparta could make a comeback here. That's surprising. Well, no, these slingers back here still have ammo. And they are firing. None of these units over here is probably real easily capable of ridding itself of the Perilochoi Spear, especially with the square ability, because they can pop it and their morale will probably hold out long enough to allow them to win the melee. But it's going to be a chase for sure, and it's 10 minutes of chasing apparently. So this is going to be a hard-fought battle by both players. Epic brawl here by a couple of Greek cities. This is nice. You don't get to see this too often in Rome too, the epic Greek-on-Greek brawl here. Yeah, the square being very useful here for the Perilochoi. The balance bar is slowly whittling its way back in favor of the Spartan. Shaken fresh. I don't believe any of these units out here have ammo. If they can get this Perilochoi to waver, they're going to be successful. If they can't, I don't see them. Yeah, it is wavering, so they might get it to shatter. Nope, it's stabilized. Okay, so they shattered one Perilochoi, but the balance bar is actually now in favor of the Spartan, despite that shattering. And apparently the last remaining Perilochoi is hidden, because I can't see it anywhere on the map. So let's fast forward here. It must have caught that slinger it was chasing up against the red line. And it's probably, yeah, there it is. It's hidden up in these woods. So this is probably part of the reason why they ended the battle so long, as the players were probably resting their men a little bit. But this Perilochoi is going to get... Oh, it's exhausted. He should just stop. Or I guess they can't camp. Both players are attackers. That was part of the rule. I guess they would have to agree to rest their troops. And neither one's going to probably want the other one to rest. So they have to be in the act of attacking. This is going to be an interesting finish. I want to say the Perilochoi Spears can carry it, but you can see that their morale is not looking all that good. Numbers are in favor of the Syracusans, and the cavalry is in favor of the Syracusans. Impact damage is pretty significant in Total War Rome 2. Let's see what happens. Perilochoi pushing down the hill. Syracusans are going to want to go for a full surround. So I can see that definitely being the case. Still 3 minutes of battle left. Let's see what happens. Perilochoi chasing, so now an uphill advantage here, helping the mercenary Balearic Slingers. It can only help them so much, but it would help. And the cavalry now coming from a downhill, or from an uphill position too, if they stay there. Yep, here comes the charge. Downhill charge for the cavalry, about as good as they can hope for, killing some Perilochoi, but when they retreat, they're going to take some casualties. Yeah, pretty fair number of casualties coming off the Tarentine cavalry there. Balearic Slingers charging into melee. Now, Balearic Slingers, decent in melee by way of slingers, but not great. I mean, there are quite a few of them. And with the charges of this cavalry, it's possible they could break this up. It's going to be very, very close. It's calling combat even, so neither faction's getting a boost in melee. Wavering on the Balearic Slingers if they... Ooh, red morale on the Spartan youths. They go back into the square. Can they get there in time? The square is going to boost their bracing and morale. They need to stay that way. Okay, so their morale stabilizes. Oh, a Balearic Slinger shatters. So now the power bar swinging in favor of the Spartans. If this Balearic Slinger cuts and runs, it is probably over. Looks like the Spartan may pull this off. That is a lot of kills for a Periodically Spearman. Ooh, they are not in the square formation, so let's see what happens. They keep the green morale, though. They are now down to yellow, getting rear charged, going into the square. That ought to stabilize their morale. Wavering on the Tarentine cavalry. I believe it's over for Syracuse at this point. I believe. Can't be certain of that. 78 Periodically Spears against the Balearic Slingers and the Tarentines. There is no more hope in terms of reinforcements for either player. So desperate cycle charges right now from the Tarentine cavalry, and the Balearic Slingers also fighting desperately. Nice charge there, breaking up the Periodically Spears. They drop some men. They're dropping men very rapidly, actually. Starting to waver. Can Syracuse turn it around? Oh man, this is going to be tight. Oh, that was close. The Tarentine cavalry shattered. That was so close to swinging in favor of the Syracusan player. He was probably on the edge of his chair right there. Oh, wow. I'm not going into cinematic just because I want to see the banners and see who's wavering. This is very, very close. 27 Balearic Slingers, 48 Periodically Spears. I have to believe that the Periodically Spears are going to win this, but they start wavering. Casualties sustained and exhausted. Oh, that's weird. Why are the Balearic Slingers not suffering that? That's so odd. Now both are wavering. Holy crap. This is so close. Down to the final 10 seconds. Who's it? Oh, it was the Balearic Slingers. Holy crud, that was close. Wow. Man, that one really came down to the wire. That was fun. That was really cool. So now both players made a fair few mistakes in different places. But the ending of that was absolutely epic, man. I kept thinking I knew who was going to win that, and it just, oh my gosh, I did not know until all the way to the end. So great game by Helvetian Slayer there, pulling that back and winning, and great game by Warner95 there for putting in a really nice matchup. So if we look at the units here, lots of kills for the Balearic Slingers. Now, this is the huge unit setting, so keep that in mind. The Skirmishers for the Spartans obviously getting dominated. When we look at the infantry, 235 kills for Periodically Spears, 273 kills for Periodically, 275 here for the Royal Spartans, 142 on this Spartan Hoplite, 153 here, 159 kills on the Heroes of Sparta before they were massacred by the skirmisher units. I mean, and you can see the infantry of Syracuse just did not hang that tough. I mean, a couple of the Thorax Hoplites did pretty well. I mean, in this general, Thorax Hoplite did quite well. Very nice performance from this Tarentine cavalry here as well. That was probably the one that survived to late game. So fantastic battle. Definitely say thanks to Trolley Bully for sending that. I have another one already ready, and if he sends me more, we'll watch those too. Make sure to go check out the links if you're interested in more information on this tournament. They will be in the description. HeirofCarthage signing out.